Okay, so welcome everyone to another installment from Adventure Outings, and we are joined by the WREC as well on this one. So normally we do tours of beautiful places, national parks, or places in other countries, and the tour is devoted to like that place. Today we're going to be doing a tour kind of highlighting areas in Northern California, but mainly focused on soundscapes, relaxation, and a way to de-stress going into these last few weeks of school. Um, and so I am Riley. I'm the operations coordinator for Adventure Outings, and I am joined by Brooke tonight, the programs coordinator for the WREC, and also our resident wellness expert. So how this is going to look is we're going to highlight a handful, I think maybe 7 areas in Northern California that you can go to and do a brief little talk about each one, very general overview. And then Brooke is going to take over and kind of lead some mindfulness, meditation, relaxation sessions during each area we go to. Anything else you want to touch on about that, Brooke?
So gang, thank you for being here and welcome. I would encourage you to use the time at the end of each scape to just really go with your comfort level, find your breath, or just listen peacefully. So really engage as much or as little as you want.
All right, so I will get us started. Okay, so our first spot is going to be here in Feather Falls in the Plumas National Forest. It's a beautiful place to go hike to. It takes about 9-10 miles round trip, about 4.5 miles each way to get to this waterfall. And it is 640 feet tall, quite a large waterfall for Northern California above Yosemite. The 4.5 mile trail will take you along beautiful forestscapes. You get views of the canyon and also huge granite domes like this one. This is Bald Rock Dome, 1,000 feet tall. And I think the coolest thing about the Feather Falls hike is if you go between November and March, you have a good chance of seeing the ladybug migration. So you'll be able to see hundreds of them clustered in these clumps like this along the trail. So it's really close. It's only about an hour and a half from Chico to get to the trailhead for Feather Falls.
So as we come to rest at this scene, go ahead and sit on the edge of your chair, your feet planted firmly on the ground, grounding through the 4 corners of the feet. And just inhale as you allow the eyelids to close, and exhale deeply. And as you listen to the falls, imagine the power of the water. Maybe imagine feeling the mist on your cheeks. Taking a nice big deep breath in, pause at the top, and slowly exhale. Inhaling deeply through the nose, pause, and exhale deeply through the mouth. Maybe imagine feeling the sun as it warms your skin, the vibration of the water as it hits the earth. And you slowly open your eyes, and we continue.
All right, we've moved north to another beautiful waterfall. This one is located east of Redding. It's called the Burney Falls. This is a really stunning kind of cascade or set of waterfalls here in this beautiful like inset canyon. This area is located really close to the parking lot, so it's a really accessible waterfall to see. It's 130 feet tall, and my favorite thing about this waterfall is that it actually originates as an underground spring. This whole thing is spring fed. The spring pops up out of the ground a couple miles upstream and builds until it plummets over this cliff, creating the Bernie Falls. The Bernie Falls, a little bit farther away, is located about 2.5 hours northeast of Chico. A beautiful place to go see in the winter, like you can tell in this photo.
As we come to rest here, we listen to the sounds of the water. Inviting our eyelids to close, the tongue rests at the roof of the mouth, the jaw releases. We begin to will the tension to leave our bodies. Inhaling deeply, we pause, and as we exhale, we imagine muscle fibers unwinding, water flowing around a rock. In the midst of stress and chaos, we imagine ourselves as the rock. Moving with the water, allowing it to flow all around us, and yet unchanged in form. As we listen to the birds and the water here, we bring ourselves to a sense of peace. Returning to the breath, we allow ourselves to just be. Inhale deeply, pause. Exhale deeply. Pause. Just be. We invite the eyelids to open, and we move on.
And I just want to encourage you all to increase and decrease your volume on the slides depending on the sounds. If you want them louder, feel free to turn that way up. Really absorb these nature sounds. So now we've kind of transitioned into the springtime. We're here in Lassen Volcanic National Park, kind of the backyard national park of Chico, California. And we're here at the Kings Creek, just a piece of the Kings Creek in this beautiful meadow with Lassen Peak right here in front of us. So Lassen is a world of extremes. It is very geothermically active, but also gets a ton of snow in the winter and is pretty blistering hot in the summer. In the springtime, though, it's quite cool, beautiful wildflowers. This is the mountain mule ear. And this section is kind of in the southern end of the park, up the Devil's Kitchen corridor. And these are steam vents and fumaroles popping out right out of the creek. Lassen has bubbling mud pits, lava fields, a cold boiling lake, and a lot of diverse landscape. Beautiful spot. Lassen Volcanic National Park is only about an hour and 45 minutes to the entrance center in Chico.
As we come to rest here, maybe we allow the eyelids to close once more. Maybe we imagine we've removed our shoes and our feet rest in the grass. We feel the cool blades between our toes. Maybe we take a seat and allow our feet to dangle in the cold water. Breathing deeply, we listen to the sounds around us, this peaceful scape. And in this land of extremes, we stay serene, undaunted by chaos. We are at peace. We return to the breath, feeling the cool grass under our feet. We begin to open our eyes, thinking about awareness or space. We move on.
Okay, so moving out of the springtime, we're into the winter landscapes here at Mount Shasta. I just have a couple just beautiful photos if they'll load to show you. They don't seem to want to load for me. There they go. We're going to dive into the base of Lassen, or I'm sorry, Shasta. It's a wonderful spot to go snowshoeing. And like most winter landscapes, it's really quiet in these areas. All you can hear typically is the sound of your own feet crunching the snow beneath you. So we're at the Shasta Ski Park. There are a few lifts here, I think about 5 of them if you want to go skiing or snowboarding. But I like to explore these areas on snowshoe, walking around at my own pace, digging in the snow, and camping. So Shasta is part of the Cascade Range and is also a volcano, but erupted about 3,000 years ago. So I think we're pretty safe from this one for now. Shasta is about 3 hours north of Chico.
We take a moment to pause here, pausing in the stillness, enveloped in quiet, muted. We allow the eyelids to close. We ground through the 4 corners of the feet. Our toes warm, our cheeks cold. We exhale deeply, taking an inhale. The cool air awakens our senses. We open our eyes and move on.
All right. We've now done something crazy. We've climbed to the top of Mount Shasta and are here on the summit. I encourage you all to turn up the volume and really try and get that feeling of this wind blowing and flapping your jacket as you're standing on top. So Shasta is the 5th tallest mountain in California at 14,180 feet. Pretty strenuous to get up here. It's hard to breathe. And it's about 7,000 feet of vertical gain. And you are obviously very happy at the top, like these people. There are about 15 different ways to reach the top. So there's something for everyone to get up here. Again, Shasta is about 3 hours north of Chico.
Body warm from the climb, we pause for just a moment, relishing in the triumph and hard work of our journey. Our body presses into the wind, the cold snaps against our face. We struggle to take a deep inhale here. Pausing, we exhale deeply against the cold. Maintaining the breath. Returning to the inhale. Intentionally exhale deeply. Continuing to press against the wind. Eyelids cool. Inhale, pause. Exhale, pause. Maybe our heart rate is up. We calm it through the breath. We open our eyes against the cold air, and we continue on our journey.
Moving off the high summit, we're going to move to the coast into some of my favorite terrain. Old growth redwood forest. Typically foggy and rainy. You're just surrounded by these ancient trees. These trees in California along the coast are dated to almost 20 million years old, or at least they were here 20 million years ago. The oldest trees in this grove, I think, are 1,500 years old. They are also the tallest trees in the world, reaching over 300 feet tall. It's a very ancient place. Lots of ferns, very Jurassic. You think a dinosaur is going to come out and get you from around the corner. The tallest tree in this grove is 376 feet tall. If you've never been to the Redwood State and National Parks, highly recommend it. It is phenomenal. So from Chico, you're looking at about a 4.5-hour drive northwest to reach these state parks.
As we slowly come to a stop here, our footsteps are silent on the loamy earth. We inhale. We imagine the history, the magic of this space. Our eyelids close as we are humbled. We inhale gratitude to be in the presence of such magic. We pause, we exhale, feeling the rain pattering against our skin. We ground through the four corners of the feet, standing tall, solid, immovable, grounded. We allow our eyelids to open, and we continue.
Okay. We've reached our northernmost destination, Fern Canyon. It's an absolute wonder of nature. This canyon pops out right at the coast. You can park and walk only a couple hundred feet to reach the entrance to this canyon, so it's really accessible. It's a mile long, 50 to 80 feet tall, these vertical walls, and they are completely covered in ferns. There are 5 different types of ferns that cover these walls, so it's a really diverse canyon. See another picture of it. You have these walkways over the little river, fallen trees block your path. It is a phenomenal place. Definitely a bucket list destination. So much so that Steven Spielberg used this to film parts of Jurassic Park 2 because he thought it was such a phenomenal area. So go watch that movie if you want to try and find that scene. Brooke doesn't think it's a good movie. So Fern Canyon, farthest destination, it is 5 hours to get here from Chico. So a good weekend trip.
As we pause here, we take a moment to inhale the scent of the earth. The air is cool between the walls. We feel sheltered and safe. We plant our feet. Next to us is a stream. Again, we imagine water flowing around a rock. We inhale deeply. And we exhale the magic of the space. Allowing the eyelids to open, we surround ourselves with green. Maybe we allow a smile to form at the lips, and we move on.
All right. We've made it to the unmistakable sound of the coast. The sound that everybody loves. So we're here on the Lost Coast in Northern California. It is a 25-mile stretch of coastline that is pretty pristine. The mountains surrounding it were too rugged to build Highway 1, so Highway 1 had to be moved way out to the east, leaving this spot untouched from industrialization. The only industrialization you see, other than a few ranches, is a lighthouse right here, about 3 miles in, that you can go in and explore. You can have lunch in there, wait out the rain. When I did it, it rained on us for 6 hours straight, so it was a nice reprieve in that lighthouse. It's a pretty wild coastline. Like I said, we're going to take one more look a little farther down. It typically takes people 3 days of hiking to do the whole 25-mile stretch. This is one of the campsites. You can see their tents right there. Beautiful, beautiful spot. Take a quick look. You have beach hiking. You have sections of bouldery, rocky hiking right on the cliff line. This is through an impassable zone. This is the Lost Coast. It hikes from the mouth of Mattole to Black Sands Beach in Shelter Cove. I believe it's about 5 hours to get here as well, to start your trip from Chico.
We come to rest at the end of our journey today in this beautiful space. We allow our eyelids to close and we feel the power of the waves crashing against the shore. We inhale deeply and we smell salt. Air cool on our cheeks. Find a sense of peace here. Sense of power knowing we can always return to the breath. Inhale deeply, pause. Exhale deeply. Pause. We slowly allow the eyelids to open, taking a final big deep breath in and exhale.
Okay. Well, this is all we have. A short tour today. Really focused on these nature sounds and some nice relaxing meditation in this stressful week of school and life in general right now. Hope you enjoyed it. What I would love to see is if you guys could put in the chat what some of your favorite nature sounds were. What terrain do you prefer? I know for me personally, it's a tie between rain on the tents sound, like in the Redwoods, and like Haley just said, the snow crunching, the winter sounds. Got the birds chirping, the water stream. I like it. Everyone has their own kind of like happy place with nature and the sounds. Yeah, if you have any question about any of these places we've visited, please throw those in the chat. And I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, I hope you have a great rest of your week. And I hope finals aren't too crazy right now. Is there a specific way to get to Feather Falls? So I contemplated putting Feather Falls on this list, but I still wanted to do it because it's quite a huge waterfall. Typically, you just park at the trailhead, Jennifer, and you hike about 4.5 miles one way. There are like 2 trails that take you out there and they loop. So you can't really go wrong to get out there. And then you come back. But this recent fire, the North Complex, I think it was called, right? That fire went through and decimated all of Feather Falls and the trail and that whole area. So, Jennifer, I would look at the Plumas National Forest. I would call a ranger and ask if that trail is open or what the details are about that. And that would, if you just look up Plumas National Forest, it'll have contact information on those rangers and they will be able to tell you the up-to-date information about that trail. Um, best time to visit Fern Canyon. I don't think there's a wrong time to visit Fern Canyon. It is really accessible, and because it's on the coast, it never snows. So I think if it's raining, there'll be less people. So I would almost recommend a rainy day. I think it would make the canyon a little bit, the ambiance of the canyon better too, if you don't mind being out in the rain. But it is, because of its accessibility, it is a highly popular spot. And so if you go on like a beautiful summer or spring day, you're probably going to be with a lot of other people. Um, you can find this recording, Diana, on the AS YouTube page in about a week. Let's see. My favorite nature sound is, oh man, it's hard. I like them all, but It's got to be like the crunching snow, snow falling, the really, really quiet, just like dampened ambiance. I want to just add more sounds for us. Do you need to have hiking experience to get to the top of Shasta? So I know you can get to the top of Shasta in the summer. I don't know if there's a trail. Jenna would have better information about that. Um, in the winter, there are routes that are basically extremely long, steep snow hills that you just hike up. But you should have a certain level of hiking or snow experience, particularly traveling in snow and the use of ice axe and crampons. I would say that would be a basic level of skill and experience needed for Shasta. And Jenna, speak up if you have a differing opinion about that. Bernie Falls, how accessible is it? It is super accessible to get to Bernie Falls. It's just a short walk from the parking lot, I believe. And you can go at any time of the year. I think it's the same thing with Fern Canyon. The better the conditions, like the more popular it is. So if you go in those like off times, like in the winter or when it's rainy, you'll have a more solo experience, like more solitude. I don't know if they plow the road to the parking lot. So that's something where if you were trying to get there in the winter, you'd want to look up the park that it's located in and get information from the local ranger station there. Thank you, Brooke. Thank you so much for your help with this.
I was going to say thanks to Brooke, but she just left.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. Thank you all for showing up. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned. I believe we will resume tours next semester, probably February-ish, once students kind of settle back into school. And I know we have a couple like in the works. We will be doing a tour on Upper Park, kind of like the hidden places you can go in Upper Park, and where you can find some native history. And then I believe we'll be doing a tour on the Inca Trail, hosted by Jenna. She's been there. And and we will also be doing a tour, like a more in-depth tour on Lassen National Park as well. Kind of get into the deets about its volcanic history. And probably some other stuff. Kelly, I might, yeah, if anyone has any other suggestions, that would be great. Or if there's a place that you want to go to that you want to know more about, we might have been there and we could do a tour. And Kelly, if you and Brad would like to co-lead one, we can do one on the JMT.
That would be really cool.
I've never done the JMT, but I can build the whole tour if you and Brad want to like do a lot of the discussion about it. I obviously spent a lot of time in Yosemite and have done the first section, but I've never done the whole thing. I'll keep in touch about that.